drinking from a pond. I wanna know you when you're happy, and you when you cry. I wanna know you. I wanna know you under the tender hand of a September moon. I wanna know your eyes on me when I leave a room. I wanna know you when you're shut down, you brave as hell. I wanna know you. I wanna know what you are afraid of.
The dynamic between the two characters was really sweet, was really natural and organic. Um, it really did feel like, everything happens for a reason. They both suffered a big loss at the same time and kind of found each other, I think, right where they needed each other. I really liked the aspect of having the grandfather and the mother kind of just transparent in the background, and that kind of presence that was there and looming. And then as they found happiness with each other, they were able to finally like move on and find peace, the spirit. So I just thought this was really well done. I loved the performances. Um, mostly the dialogue and dynamic between the two of them mostly took place in this cafe. Um, but there was some cool flashbacks and stuff as well, um, to these different memories with their loved ones. So I really enjoyed this. It was very sweet. It was very endearing. And
Interesting concept because it takes something that could be very heavy and interweaves it with the lightness of meeting someone new and the lightness of falling in love. I like how they have this representation of the souls, that they're both grieving, finding satisfaction and seeing them find love, and almost this whole element towards the end of feeling like they can rest now, knowing that you guys have found each other. And I like the idea that these people have come together in this space of mourning. I think it's this beautiful way to look at loss as a means to a gain.
I thought the music really was one of the highlights for me. It really worked well in creating a sense of identity, especially in the open. And I thought the cadence of the music really matched the sort of low key vibe of the piece, and allowed for a lot of interesting emotional connections between the two leads that I thought worked well. It's difficult to build an entire piece around a single conversation. The characters have to carry the sort of narrative pacing of the entire piece when it's that kind of construct. And I thought the two leads had a good sense of chemistry that felt very realistic, that allowed it to feel natural and easy to sort of see your own personal pursuits to love, or your own personal ideas about who you are reflected in their conversation. So I thought the piece was well done, had a good sense of humor in certain spots, and then I thought it had a very cohesive cinematic feel that made it feel a lot bigger than the 13 minutes.
Really touching love story that shows how we can make these important, desperately needed bonds with other people when we are suffering a loss, how grief can blossom into newfound love that very much in its foundation is built on the love that we've lost. It's kind of this continuous circle, and I think that that's what we really find in these two people and what they find in each other. There is instant chemistry between both actors, and how they portray both the love that they find as well as the grief that they're experiencing is very well done.
It all feels very personal and deep and somehow relatable for the audience that very well might have dysfunctional family members or just grieving a loss of someone important. Despite the age gap, there is chemistry between the two characters. I felt that romantic, playful tension, and not all relationships are traditional. Sometimes it takes a tragedy to find the right one. I think the cinematography and the editing is well put together. You get a lot of back and forth between the man and the woman, and then the both of them at the cafe.
Really nice lighting and cinematography right off the bat. I noticed that. Loved when she fell off the couch. Kudos to the actress there, because there was right after she fell off, and I think she kind of fell again or something. It was really funny. Nice upbeat music. It was kind of like this rom-com tone. from the beginning. Just really nice acting too, and directing here and editing. I love the ghost image of the grandfather at the table talking to the main guy character before he goes to the coffee shop. I just love that. It wasn't expected, and I really liked it a lot. Really great acting by everybody. Really nice script as well. It just flowed for me pretty much. And the eulogies and them connecting over the eulogies was neat. It didn't feel forced. It just felt like, oh wow, these two were meant to kind of sit there. And I even saw that with the actor's reaction when she walked into the coffee shop. He kind of looked at her like, I'm supposed to talk to you. I thought it was really cute. I love that the actress is the writer and the producer too, by the way. Thought it was all really well done. And I love the battleship thing. Really great idea, and really cute that he brought her a battleship game piece. Super, super cute. I really like that they are bonding and the age is brought up, but it's also dismissed because of the connection that they have was just so strong, and it just felt like fate.
Is about grief and dealing with the different types of losses that we have. With some people, you have good relationships and you want to share those stories. Meanwhile, there's also a little bit more complicated relationships. So it brings up these feelings that you kind of have to deal with and take initiative in dealing with grace, so to speak, with this notion of you can't speak ill of the dead. I found that when it comes to grief, sometimes you get things out and you can talk a certain way with a stranger versus someone that you've known your entire life. And I think that's what is kind of displayed here. We're finding these moments, they're sharing these stories, and it's not only being told to us, but it's actually being shown to us. So we get these flashbacks of little bits and pieces. You know, we see the firecracker of a grandmother who's shooting craps and having a good time, but also taking the step and initiative to kind of take over the responsibilities of her mother, who has recently passed, because it seemed like there was some type of drug, substance abuse issues there. And so she's processing, grief isn't linear. So, she's kind of dealing with both of these losses through the loss of her own mother. And she has a conversation with a gentleman who's lost his grandfather. And so it's one of these things of there's this sense of commonality to come together to kind of have this moment. And it's really wholesome.